Hey, okay. So for today's live stream, I wanted to bring up a question that I got yesterday when I was on a call with someone. Let me just actually open my handy dandy notebook. The funny thing is that my notebook recently kind of ran out of pages. And so my wife gave me a new notebook that she had in her closet just randomly. And it's this notebook with this girl in the front holding a dog, and there's like it's bedazzled and there's jewelry and there's kind of crystals and diamonds on it or something, and it's very silly looking for me. um, but anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk today about this question that I got from someone who we were on a call. They signed up for like the hourly consultation, and they were like, okay, had a list of questions to go through pretty much. And so one of their questions was, okay, so Facebook page or Facebook group, right? They were talking about how they know that Facebook is just one of those low hanging fruits for crowdfunding. It's very low hanging fruit for crowdfunding, for Indiegogo, for Kickstarter. It's where people around the world just kind of hang out, right? And Facebook has done a great job in getting people to join groups and kind of congregate into all these areas and places where people who are like-minded uh, just kind of start hanging out, right? And so um, this person was like, okay, I know that Facebook is where some sort of audience, some part of my audience, one audience, if they're out there, they're going to be on Facebook in some group or another, right? And so what they wanted to do was they wanted to figure out ways to use Facebook to just engage that audience, to start building up that audience, to build up the community, to start talking to their community. And the question becomes like, okay, there's all these tools, all these different things that are available on Facebook. What do I use? There's obviously there's Facebook Business Manager for running advertising. If you're just running advertising through just the ad manager, I'd really recommend upgrading to the Business Manager, since you just get way more powerful tools and you get way more powerful just targeting opportunities. You get way just the data you get is a lot richer in the Business Manager. So that's just one side tangent about that part of Facebook. If you're looking for other ways to engage, there's the Facebook page, there's the Facebook group, there's your own Facebook profile, there's you can create a Facebook page for your company, you can create a Facebook page for yourself. There's so many different ways to kind of start engaging with your community. And so this person was like, okay, Nalin, like I get it. I get that Facebook is where to be. I get that Facebook is kind of a low hanging fruit, and I get that Facebook is where I need to start kind of putting my efforts, right? But what do I use? What do I use? Do I use the Facebook page? Do I make a Facebook page for the product? Do I make a Facebook page for my company? Do I make a Facebook page for myself? Like, what do I do? And when I'm posting, do I post on Facebook page? Do I post on my Facebook group? And so we went through all these questions, and they just kind of rapid fire kind of asked all these questions. And I could see just kind of the confusion and kind of the kind of distraught in their face, because there's a lot, right? If you're just coming into this online marketing and you're just coming to product launches online, there's a lot to think about. There's a lot that you have to be aware of. And so let's talk through some of these different tools, these free tools, and see how you can use them. Okay. So that's kind of what today's going to be about. I'm going to start just chatting about all these free tools that you can use. So with Facebook pages, let's start with off of pages because it's been around longer than Facebook groups. So with Facebook pages, what that typically is a place where it's kind of like the yellow pages for your own business that's online, I would say. It's kind of a directory for your company, whatever your business is. So Coca-Cola would have a Facebook page that just talks about their company, that talks about like where their headquarters, there's like a chat bot there. If you want to message them, you can drop links, you can put a call to action button to something that you're promoting or even to your main website, whatever it is that you want. So a Facebook page is kind of more like a directory page, kind of a store, like a storefront page, I would say. So on this Facebook page, the interesting thing about that is that a lot of people think that since it's been around for longer, and since the Facebook page is something that where all your company information is, that you should be prioritizing Facebook pages, that you should be posting aggressively on Facebook pages, that you should be trying to get people to your Facebook page as much as possible. However, the interesting thing is that the reach of posts that are on Facebook pages just aren't that wide, to be completely honest. Like fake posts that go onto Facebook pages don't really see the light of day, and it doesn't really get to people anywhere. Um, Even in my own crush crowdfunding stuff. So what I was experimenting with was putting posts on things like the Facebook page, a LinkedIn business page, LinkedIn personal profile, Twitter, Twitter handles, Instagram handles, and like all these different places, and just trying to understand how people are engaging with these types of posts and how what people are seeing, if people are seeing them or not, and if they're resonating with people, right? And so through these experimentations, I found that Facebook pages, they don't posts on there don't really see the light of day. It really doesn't reach many people at all, if any, right? Um, and it's interesting because Facebook pages are actually really kind of core in how you run advertising. So although we talk about how unnecessary the Facebook pages are, to be honest, in terms of like community building and growing community, it's really important when you want to run advertising, right? Because Facebook has made it a requirement that to run advertising, you need to have an associated Facebook page that the advertising actually runs directly from. So what that means is if you have a company, right, and you have a company page, the advertising, and when you're scrolling on Facebook and you see ads, and on the top left corner you see a picture and you see the headline of what the company is, that's going to be the picture you put as your main Facebook page picture and the name of your Facebook page. Okay, and so for my case example, it would be a picture of the little fist, and the words "Crush Crowdfunding" would be the actual what the ad would look like, because that's what the page is labeled and what the image on the page is. And so I don't think that you should, well, I know you shouldn't put too much effort into growing the Facebook page and making sure that it has a lot of content. Like content works great for Facebook pages, especially if you're going to be putting advertising behind it, because there's typically a direct correlation between putting ad spend behind your whatever you're trying to advertise for, whatever product it is through that Facebook page, and the likes for that Facebook page. So you don't have to aggressively start getting people to like it. You don't have to run like campaigns for your Facebook page. Because, for example, if someone comments on your post, or if someone comments on your ad, or someone likes your ad that you're running through that Facebook page, you have the option to manually invite them to like the page itself, which typically works a lot better than just purely running like ads, because you're getting kind of two things in one: people engaging with whatever content that you're posting through that ad, and also you're getting people to like your Facebook page through that manual invite too. And so that's kind of the Facebook page, right? But when it comes to crowdfunding, when it comes to kind of launching a product online, you want a community. You don't want just kind of a page that is thrown up on the internet and with hopes that someone will come and see your content. You don't want that. You want a community, and a community came in the form of Facebook groups that Facebook has created. So what are Facebook groups? Facebook groups can be private or public. If they're a private group, If you've set it as private, then people, and you can also set it as hidden or unhidden, but basically people have to request to join it and people have to be approved to join it. But if it's a public group, anyone and everyone can see the group and search for the group online and just join it right away without having to be approved or without having to request approval. And the cool thing about this with crowdfunding is that you can build a really strong community for it. If you look online right now and you look on your Facebook, you'll see that there's a lot of different groups for very different like niche wants and niche likes and niche just interests, right? So, for example, I'm in a group called Successful Female Entrepreneurs, and that niche, that little niche on the internet on Facebook, is for people who want to be successful female entrepreneurs. And we talk about all things about running a business, growing a business, doing hires, marketing, doing sales, and all of those things, all in that group. I'm also in a group called PNW Women's Outdoor Hiking, right? And in that particular group, it's all these people who are very interested in hiking and being in the outdoors in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I'm at, in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, Washington area. And so everything in the conversation is about like hiking gear, outdoor gear, different hikes and loops to do, like difficulty of the trails, if trails are dog friendly or not, or where's the best camping spot. So there's all these different things that we're talking about in that particular group, and we're forming a community in that way, right? Whatever interest you have, honestly, I'm sure there's going to be a group for it. If you want to type in, like, the one fun, cool one that I found was that there's a group on Facebook for people who love kazoos, and kazoos are these little instruments. They're probably about what, like 3 inches long or something, and they make like a really high pitched noise. And there's a group of people who just love kazoos, and they go onto this group and they join this group and they kind of like engage and interact with each other about this group. There's groups for Major League Soccer teams. There's group for football teams. There's group for people who love grilling, and there's groups for people who love Pomeranians. There's groups for everything. And the cool thing is that people are searching out, like, are looking for these groups. People are actually going out and finding these groups to join so that they can continue talking about their passions. There's, groups for board games that have tens of thousands of people in it, just talking about board games daily, right? And so with that said, this is really, really key to building a community for your crowdfunding launch. Because yes, you want their email. Yes, you want people's contact information so that you can get in touch with them. You want their contact information so that you can email them and tell them when it's launched, and kind of download their email to make lookalike audiences and custom audiences. You want to do all that. Okay. But the thing with email is that you can't email them every day, because that's just way too much. You can't email them every single day and expect people to be continuously engaged. You can't expect to email people every day and expect to have, high open rates, like 50, 60, 70, 80%. You can't expect that. You can't expect people to just be that engaged through email every single day. And you can't expect high click rates. And you want high opens and high clicks for when you actually do launch, so that people can see that your campaign is launched and go directly to your campaign. So with that said, the cool thing about groups is that people love interacting in Facebook groups every day. They love the chatter, they love the conversation, they love just being able to talk in these groups each day and being able to have these conversations about something that they're really passionate about or really like, and being able to do this either on the daily or just whenever they want to log in on Facebook or whenever they want to kind of participate in the conversation. And if not, they're able to kind of scroll through other people's conversations and see what people are talking about, see what people are excited about, see what people have questions about, and kind of resonate with people in that way. And so this is a great tool for building community, because one, you get to talk to people directly, one-on-one, every single day. You get to show up, you get to be yourself, you get to talk to people and tell them who you are, what your vision is, what your mission is, what you want to create, and why you want them to join this journey that you're in. And you get to do that pretty much daily, and people won't be like kind of overwhelmed, because the nature of Facebook is that they just kind of get different things on their feed all the time. And if your feed, your information kind of goes into their feed too, then it's great. They'll get to see some of your information, and people are always on Facebook just to see new content all the time anyway. And they're not bugged by just getting another email, or like bugged by getting another post, or bugged by getting another comment or something. They want those comments, they want those posts, they want to see those things. And so with a Facebook group, you have that opportunity to engage people daily. And I like to talk about kind of the rule of 7, right? Which is, people need to see something about 7 times before they can be taken from someone who doesn't want something or doesn't know something at all, down the purchase funnel, down the psychological purchase funnel, to get to where they actually really, really want something. A repeated exposure is kind of one of the best things to make the sale. Repeated exposure is one of the best things to get people to like something and like an idea, or be on board with an idea, if they're already kind of almost, kind of partial to it, right? And so with a Facebook group, you're able to do things that kind of bring your product to the forefront every single day, or bring yourself to the forefront every single day, to these people who are very targeted, that already have expressed that they like what you're doing and like you and like your product. And so you can continue to really put yourself out there to this group, so that you can increase that like, know, and trust factor for yourself, for your company, and for your product, to get people closer to that purchase phase. So what does this look like when it comes to crowdfunding? What does it look like when it comes to the actual campaign itself, the actual pre-launch? How does this fit in this whole crowdfunding ecosystem? Well, firstly, capture their email. Capture their email somehow, some way, or just in another video I talk about how to capture email. So let's kind of go watch those videos. But basically, capture their email, and from there, just hold off sending too many emails. So send them a welcome email and say, "Hey, thanks for being here. Go join our Facebook group." Right? Our Facebook group is where we're going to be chatting with you every day. You can ask us questions. We might be doing live AMAs. There's going to be polls where you can join us in actually creating this product and bring it to market. Right? People love that. People who love crowdfunding love that stuff, right? They want to be here to help you bring something to life. They want to be part of the journey. So that call to action is great. Right? And from there, drive them into the Facebook group. From there, the emails should be very few and far between. I recommend 3 different emails before you launch, and no more, within like a 3-month time frame. And I actually have templates for that in the resources page of the Crush Crowdfunding blog. So be sure to check that out if you want that resource. Okay, so send people to the Facebook group. Once you send people to the Facebook group and have them join, the world is your oyster. What you want to do in this group, like this group is literally people who have probably seen an ad, or probably have heard about this somewhere, went to your landing page and joined your email list because they were interested in what you want to launch, right? And so people who are coming into this Facebook group really want to know what you're launching, really want to be a part of it, and really want to help you get this thing made. And so these are people you need to treat like royalty, pretty much. They're people who want to be here and help you pay for this project that you have in your head that you haven't even made yet. And they want to prepay for this project just to make it come to life, help you make it come to life, right? And so take them on this journey with you. Because that's what people who crowdfund or who back things on crowdfunding love to do. They want to peel back the layers, right, of the onion. They want to see, hey, how is manufacturing going? Hey, how are things going in the supply chain? Like, how are you managing shipping? What kind of colors is the product going to have? Like, what kind of boxes it's going to come in. Like, what does it look like? What does the prototype look like? Can I see it yet? Who are you as the founder? So there's all these things you can do, like posting about the actual product itself, doing polls. If there's like 3 different colors you're trying to figure out for launch, if you're trying to decide between red, green, or blue, post that in the group and have people vote and decide what's going to come out. If you're just trying to decide on stretch goals and add-ons, have people decide that, because this means that you're going to be creating the exact product that people want, and people are going to love being part of this whole process. And the more involved and the more invested people are with this process, the more people really, really want to back something, right? And so treat them like royalty. Like, have things like live stream, right? Like have daily live stream AMAs with people where you talk about what you're doing right now, like how you're feeling, how this entrepreneurial journey is really difficult, how you're slowly but surely working on this, how things have changed, how what updates are being made. Like, do all this, because the more people see you, know you, trust you, like you, the more they're gonna really want to be part of what you're making. The more that they're gonna want to join in, the more they're gonna want to contribute funds to what you make. And in practice, I've seen this happen so many times. In practice, this is during the pre-launch. When it comes to the campaign phase itself, this group goes on fire. Like, people are excited. People who are in the group are telling each other, "Oh, I just backed. Have you backed yet?" Like, or, "Hey, I just backed and got this add-on too." Or like, "Oh, I can't wait for this stretch goal." So even during the campaign itself, no, this is like after you've launched. During the campaign itself, there's a lot of great conversation that goes on in these groups. And if people in the group were excited but haven't backed yet, the cool thing is that all these other backers who are in the group will start talking about how excited they are and how they've backed. And the other people who are still on the fence to begin with will see all this excitement and see all this kind of celebration for this product, for this launch, and they'll want to get into. And it's that classic fear of missing out, the FOMO that people have. And it's really, really kind of exponentially shown when it comes to the actual group itself, because a lot of people are kind of congregating in the group and talking and chatting and talking about what they got and how they're excited about getting it. And so now other people really want it too. Other people who've seen you post about this product, other people who've seen you kind of talk about it, now they want it too. And the coolest thing is that Facebook prioritizes posts from groups. Right? Remember when we talked about earlier that Facebook doesn't really prioritize posts from pages? Well, Facebook prioritizes posts from groups. So when you post in a group, people are way, 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 way more likely to actually see the post from the group itself. With that said, if you're posting something in the group, people are probably going to see it. If you're doing a live video, Facebook pings everyone in the group when you start doing a live video. Yeah. And so if you're trying to figure out between a page and a group, right, they're both important in their own ways. Facebook page you need to have it if you want to run ads. That's just the name of the game. You need to have it if you want ads. Facebook group is great for engagement. It's great for pre-launch engagement, for getting people to kind of join in on your journey and having that daily interaction with people to just get a pulse of what your people are. And Facebook group is great for all this during the campaign too, since you're able to really have these conversations with people and get people excited about why they're backing, what they've backed, pretty much the product that they're going to get, and convince other people who are on the fence to do this exact same thing. So that is my little answer to the question that I got yesterday about Facebook pages versus Facebook group. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe so that other people will be able to see this too. And if you have any questions, be sure to drop it in the comments, and I will be back again. Bye, guys. Thanks.